welcome back to RTS, and once again welcome back to our base page series, because we are going to continue to play and have fun, and we're combining cut aparts with go-to designs and base pages, all three in one. So what we're going to do in this video is combine what we talked about in the two previous videos, the block and the band. We're going to combine the block and the band for even more options when it comes to base pages or simply just layout ideas. So I'm going to again crack open Call of the Wild by Echo Park. It's so pretty. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a block with a horizontal band. So simple. You're going to see this in a lot of sketches because it's just basic. But when you play with your patterns, it doesn't look basic. And when you play with different patterns, it looks different every time. So I'm going to start with this tonal on tone, these beautiful trees, this beautiful green. This is a 12 by 12, and then this block is a 10 by 11. But I'll have all these measurements listed below. So what we're going to do is we're just going to center this paper. Easy peasy. Centered. That's it. Whatever size this block is for you. It could be 9 by 9, 10 by 10, 11 by 11. It's just a block of paper on top of a 12 by 12 block. And then what we're going to do is take a horizontal band, and this is going to be a 3 by 12, but I'll have all these listed below. And then I'm going to put those two together, and you see that's simply what it is. A block with a band. You can't go wrong. You can keep making this measurement bigger, and you keep making it smaller, and you can keep layering. So keep playing. So what I'm going to do is add a plaid on top of that, which is a 2 by 12, and then on top of that I'm now going to add a 1/2 by 12, and that gives me 3 layers, and then this gives me 5 patterns from this collection. So that's why when you play with the block and the band and you put them together, that means you can get some more patterns on your layout, and it's not overwhelming. So then what we could do is take some photos, and we could plop them here, and we could make them linear. We could make one up, one down. We could stagger them. We could cattywampus, tilt them a little bit. And then, of course, let's find a cut apart. And since my photos are staggered, I will keep this linear. And so that makes for a very easy page. Very easy page. Now the other thing with this is, let's go ahead. I like to show options when you have more photos, and not everybody does 4 by 6. So what we can do is just remove these, and then let's look at this paper again, this 10 by 11 block. So now what we're going to do, instead of it being centered, we're going to slide it. So I'm going to slide it this way, because I have a rounded corner up here. So now what we're going to do is instead of this being center, I'm going to slide this. And now I broke out a corner rounder, so I broke that and put that there, rounded the corner, and then I'm going to do the same thing. A 3 by 12, a 2 by 12, and see this busy pattern? You still get to enjoy it, but you only see a portion of it. So you still get to enjoy it, but it's not overwhelming. And again, 5 different patterns on one layout. I'll do this any day of the week. And then now let's go with some smaller photos, and let's do some verticals. And again, I slid that. So don't forget to slide, shift, and rotate on everything that we're doing in this series. In fact, no matter what you do in this hobby, slide, shift, and rotate. So what we're going to do is, there is 4 photos. That's good. They're smaller. And then we could put a title up here. That would be good because it's in that sky, that navy sky. And then, of course, I could bring my journaling down here and tuck it underneath that little strip. That is beyond cute. So it gives a little anchoring to my journaling. And then I could take this, another cut apart. And when it comes to your cut aparts, don't be afraid to trim them down, even though they are made to be 3 by 4 for pocket pages, things like that. But trim them down, use these for embellishments, cut them out. Maybe you want to stay wild, but you don't want the fox. Just take the words, just take the images, cut them down. So I cut this one down just a little bit, and then I could even tuck these just as a little bit of an element. Like that would be an advertisement you would see at the campground. Isn't that cute? So don't be afraid to play with those cut apart. So, and then also with the block with the horizontal band, you could center this block, or you could slide the block. And then don't forget, you could do mist and sprays. You could do all kinds of stuff. So now we're going to come back again, and we're going to play with the block and the band again, but in a different format. Now in this example, what we're going to do is do the block, but with a vertical band. So it's exactly like the first one. But now we're going to rotate because remember, slide, shift, and rotate. And in this one, I'm going to play with a new photo play collection that just came out, and it's called Cherish by Becky Moore. And it really looks to me like it's Scandinavian or from Norway. I just love it. I think it's so dear and so sweet. And look at the colors. I don't know what it is about these colors. I just love them, and I love them together. And so I'll show a couple more of these. And then here's that navy with the turquoise dot. This is cute. I even put some cardstock. Yeah, when I get a collection and I have things floating around, I just added some in because that turquoise and this red, what is this red called? Lava red. It goes so well. And let me show you the heart paper. The heart paper, isn't that so cute? And then of course it comes with cut aparts. So that is something new by Photoplay, and that is also something I wanted to say when you're playing with base pages. Don't always go for the old stuff. Don't always go for the scraps. Go for the new stuff, and that way you play with it, and then first of all, then you're playing with it as soon as you get it. So that's the fun part. And then I think it takes the pressure off. You're not trying to create a masterpiece with these new papers. You're just playing with them, because that's all we should do with our papers. Play with them and enjoy them. So what we're going to do in this one is we are going to start with a block once again, and this is going to be a 9 by 10. And then what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go ahead and slide that clear over to the right, and then I'm going to take this vertical band, and this is going to be a 3 by 12 right there. So that's basically what we did before, but now we have it in a different format. So you can see that when I cut my papers, I made sure that I cut them where my designs were going in the vertical fashion. So then what you can do is now add some pieces and make this band as we did earlier. We layered them. Now we're going to make this wider. So these are about a 1/2 by 12. So I'm going to add that beautiful navy and turquoise that's in that collection. And I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to put that. I'm just going to layer them underneath that. Such a pretty way to stretch your papers as these 1/2 by 12. So let me put that there. If it looks there, I'm going to tuck it underneath. But you know, sometimes when you do this tucking and it's not glued, you know what happens. They go sliding. So then I'm going to go ahead and show what this would look like just for a reference point if you wanted to put 2 photos. So let's play with 2 4 by 6 photos. Look how easy these go. This is a 9 by 10, a 3 by 12, and this is perfect for a 4 by 6 photo. So I'll say that again. A 9 by 10 block, a 3 by 12 vertical band is perfect for 2 4 by 6 photos if you're doing them horizontally. And then you can put the title in the middle and put your journaling down here. And this 9 by 10 will also act as a photo mat for your photos. So it's just a really, really quick way. Now, you know, I always like to show what it's going to look like when you want to do more photos. So let's do that. So now you can see with this vertical band, look where it's placed. It's placed on top of this 9 by 10 block. But that doesn't mean it has to always go on top. So let's play with the vertical band again, but let's put it underneath this. So let's do this. And I'm going to play with this paper here. And I just love this. Again, isn't this a perfect way to use all of those border strips in that 12 by 12 paper, is to just put them in a band. Now you got the representation of that whole collection in a 3 by 12. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it underneath the 9 by 12. So now we're going to do it underneath. And then I'm going to take, I wanted some yellow. And there wasn't any in the collection I wanted to play with. So when you're playing with these 1/2 inch strips that you're anchoring or layering, you know you can always use your washi. So I took washi and put it on top of some white cardstock. So I'm going to put this one here. And I'm going to put this one, and you're only going to see a portion of that. So I wouldn't have had to do the whole thing, but it's easier for filming. So there, now my vertical band is underneath. So now what I can do is, so this kind of looks like it's kind of mishmashed together, is to give this 9 by 10 block a starting point. So this one, what is this? This is a 3/4 by 10, because this is a 9 by 10. And I'm going to tuck this underneath there. Now that just gives my block a starting point. See how that kind of breaks that up? Now let's get 6 photos on this one. So let's do 6 photos here. And this blue is so light in color that I don't have to mat these. Of course, I like this white. You can always put your photos on a white mat if you want them to stand out. And then how about for the journaling, we do something different. We put it in a vertical sense along with our vertical band, and our journaling can be plopped down here. And then of course you can get your visual triangle in, but this paper is so pretty, you really wouldn't need much. You could just put a little bit of something here and a little bit of something there. That's all you would need. It's so pretty. So when you are playing with those patterns, when you're doing the block and the band, because you know you're taking 2 go-to designs and putting them together, you can get away with using more pattern papers, and that means less embellishments, because remember, paper is an embellishment. So let's go to the next example. All right, so for the third example in this video, you're going to see double. Why? Because we're going to do a double block with a double band. So now we're going to do double everything, combining the block and the band. And I'm going to be playing with another new photo play collection. And the reason why I'm breaking into my new stuff is because I don't want to get into the habit of buying stuff and then just putting it on the shelf, because I don't like things laying around. So when new supplies come in, new collections come in, new embellishments come in, I do like to put it away. But then I don't want to forget, because you know, out of sight, out of mind, that type of thing. So I'm trying to at least do something, maybe just enjoy, look at it with my new stuff that comes in. And so for me, I want to just start playing with things immediately. I just think you enjoy things. There's nothing wrong with keeping papers for a special project, but there's nothing wrong with enjoying the papers now. Nothing. So with Photo Play, they came out with what a collection Michelle Coleman did. Oh, What a Beautiful Day. And if this looks familiar, it does, because it's almost exactly like Photo Play Wicker Lane, which was also by Michelle Coleman. So this one I think was last year. Let me. Don't look, there's no years. No, Photo Play does not have any years. But this one just came out. But you can combine both of them. And so when this came in, it's exactly like Wicker Lane, which is so pretty. The cameras in this line. Oh, the text. The plaid. This is so pretty. Of either one of them, I think Wicker Lane is prettier, but this is cute. So I just put them all together. And here's the sticker sheet from Oh, What a Beautiful Day and Wicker Lane. There's the different sticker sheets. I just love this one. This is so pretty. I was in an antique store just last week, and they had a phonograph and all the records and all. It was just amazing. It was pricey, but I hadn't seen one of them in a long time. So you can combine those. So very, very pretty. I'm going to be playing with Oh, What a Beautiful Day. Again, drag into the new stuff. So let's start seeing double, and let's play with the block, the double block and the double band. So again, I'll have measurements for everything listed below. That way, if you want a reference point when you're starting to play, it's all figured out for you. Just cut and go, cut and go. So I'm going to take this cloud paper, and I'm starting with a 9x9. And then what I'm going to do is give this a mat, and I'm going to center this, and I'm just going to plop it on there. I mean, look how pretty. So this flower is not my favorite. So when I see papers like this, I automatically think of matte, because now with that matte, there's that pop of beautiful pink, and I just seem to like it more. So if you are pulling out a paper pad in collection packs and there's papers that's just not your favorite, use them for a matte and see if you like them better that way. It's a good use, because you know, some of that paper you're not going to see. Now you could gut that. A lot of times I don't. It has to be special paper. Cartabella or Mente for me to gut. So, or a color that I really like. So now let's do, this is a double block, let's do a double band. So I'm going to do this navy dot. This is going to be 5 by 11.5, and I'm going to put this here. So there's a band, and now this one is going to be a 6.5 by 10, just something different. And then I'm going to plop it underneath here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see it here to the left, and then I'm going to see a smidgen of it right there. Right there, right there, right there. So you can play around with those measurements a little bit, and sometimes just start with your scraps if you're playing with scraps. Muffler guy, hello. and see what that does for you. Now, this is be good. This cloud paper is so pretty that you could use this for a showcase photo or something pretty. So what you could do is, let's just put a 4x6 here, and let's put this title here. Isn't that pretty in the clouds? And of course, just plop your journaling wherever you want. Now, since we're doing a double block with a double band, how about doing a double mat or a mat for your photos, or use double photos? Remember we talked about that in collection cut up where I took a 4x6 photo, put it on top of a 5x7 photo. You could do that too. So let's take this 4x6 and put it on top of a 5x7. Now that 5x7 could be a mat or it could be an additional photo. I like the look of that, and you could put your journaling there. That's another way, and that is the double block with the double band. Now we have these blocks centered. But what if we do the slide, shift, and rotate thing? Let's do that, and then let's play with a little bit more photos, because not everybody just wants to do a layout for one photo. Nothing wrong with that. So let's take this paper, this 9x9 block, and let's go ahead and let's shift it and slide it. And so it's not going to be centered in that pink now. See what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this over, and then I'm going to slide the whole thing over to the edge of my layout. And then what I'm going to do is slide this blue, and now you see that. So again, that is doing your sliding and shifting. You can always do that. Of course, depending on what your paper looks like, you could rotate it as well. But don't be afraid to slide your papers around. Everything doesn't have to be in the middle. Everything doesn't have to go to the top, to the bottom. You can do left and you can do right. And this would be a fabulous month in review page. Could you see this mirror image on the right? This would be so pretty, so pretty. Okay, so let's go into more photos. So let's put 3 photos here, and let's just do them in a whimsical manner. We are playing with some whimsical papers. We could put our title up here in the clouds, and then put our journaling up there. Easy peasy. And so that was the same papers, the same cuts, but I just slid them and shifted them, and you get a whole different look. And of course, you can change up your photo arrangement. So I love that. So don't be afraid to do that when it comes to your photos, double blocks with a double band. Now for this next example with the block and the band, I have 2 renditions, so stick with me. I'm going to show 4 samples just with this one. So now what we're going to do is the block with the band. But now we can turn the band into a banner. Yes, let me say that again. We're going to take the block with the band, and we're going to turn the band into a banner. That's all these are, our go-to designs in different configurations. Now in this one, I really wanted to play with this. And of course, this is Beach Party by Stephen Duncan, by Cartabella. And of course, I wanted to play with this. So this is just a dear collection. I think we talked about this. I think I showed a haul video, but there definitely are some boy papers in here. That this surfboard, let me see if I can find it. You have to get this surfboard. If you have boys, big boys, little boys, it don't matter. You'll see it coming up. You got to get the surfboards and the beach balls. It's just really cute, and there are some really good B-sides in this collection. So of course, I'm just loving the crabs and the turtles. Just very cute. Oh, don't you just love paper? I really do. Okay, so let's get cracking and smacking with this one, because I have 4 examples just with this one. I had to kind of stop myself. So what we're going to do is we're going to play with a big block and triple band, but we're going to turn the bands into banners. So what we're going to do is take this is a 10 by 12. This is really good use of your paper. And what I'm going to do is shift this clear to the right already. I'm doing some sliding already. And then what I'm going to take is a little bit of the B side. And I think this is a half by 12. And I'm going to just put it right there. So right there is a pretty design. I mean, already. And then you put photos on top of it. It calms down this busy paper. You're never going to go wrong. So then what we're going to do is we are going to take 3 papers. And these are all the same size. And again, I'll have everything listed below. These are about 1.5 by 11.5. And then 11 and 10.5. So I made them different sizes because I'm going to layer them. So and then what we're going to do is we're going to take these bands and we're going to turn them into banners really quickly with the hexagon punch, or you can just take your scissors and snip a little fishtail in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these, and again, all the measurements are listed below, and I'm going to plop that there. And then I'm going to take this one. And this is all the same thing. 1.5. There's just different lengths because I want to see these fishtails. And I'm going to take them clear to the edge. Just like that. Just like that. See how they're different lengths. 10.5, 11, and 11.5. That way I wanted to see the fishtails. And I could slide this all up just a tad if I wanted to. So there is 3 banners. They started out as bands of paper. But because I gave them a notch, now they're a banner. That's another way to look at your band. And then, of course, what we're going to do is take 2 photos. Let's just take 2 4x6, plop them up here. Is this not a beautiful page? And this would be pretty for the intro to an album. This would be a great title page. And then we could take our title, put it down here, and journaling. Let's hang it off of here. So pretty. So pretty. And then again, look what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is how you play with your patterns. Add the block design with the band design. Now we're adding another element where we're getting in some different dimension, as now we're getting into the banners. And you can just simply use your scissors or a punch for that. And then, of course, okay, this is where I just go crazy, so just bear with me. Now, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with this. It's beautiful. This would make for a great 2-page, but then looks what happens. Wait till you see the magic when I do one thing, because remember our mantra in this whole series, slide, shift, and rotate. So let me move these, and we're going to get some more photos in here other than 2. Look what happens just by rotating. Yes, come to mama. Doesn't that look good? Doesn't that look good? And all we did was rotate it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take, these are 2.5 by 3.5. And my paper shifted too. Now we're going to get 9 photos. Look at this. Now, is this not a magical page? Oh, I just love when you simply can just slide papers, shift papers, rotate papers, and you got another whole thing. I just love this. So now we have 9 photos, and since our banners are in a vertical sense, how about putting your title in a vertical sense? Isn't that pretty? Again, photos will be at the end, so don't worry about doing anything now. Just enjoy me yapping. So look at that. Now with these 9 photos, you can line these up into a very linear grid. Sometimes what I will do is I will purposely shift them. So that way, if I don't get them lined up equally, then it kind of hides the imperfection. So I kind of like to shift them a little bit. So when that slide, shift, and rotate, don't forget that can also pertain to your photos, not just your papers. Is this not fun? Is this not magical? Oh, no, I did. And I can do this. Let's just rotate it back again. It's the same thing. So fun. Now what we're going to do is we're going to still play with this beach party. And in this last one, we are now going to play with the block, the band, and the banner. But now we're going to play with a double block. So, yeah, so many things. So many things. So let me move all this. And I guess I could just move all these papers because I'm going to be doing something different. So let me move them for a minute. And what we're going to do is now, here comes the surfboards. Oh yeah, surf's up, bud. There we go. This is a 12 by 12. Now remember that this 12 by 12 pattern paper is already a block. Just taking it out of the pack, the cellophane pack, right there's a block of paper. So this is a 12 by 12. So our double block means we're going to get another block and put on top of that. So I can still see the surfboards. Now I get that little bit of the water, and this is a 9 by 9, but you can make this whatever size you want. And then we simply are going to take a band of paper, and now what we're going to do is turn it into a banner, and we're going to plop that on top. Now there we go. That is a double block, 1, 2, with a big banner, and it's notched at both ends. So then what we could do is, again, take a photo, put a 4 by 6 photo here, and we could put our title here, and we could hang our journaling right up there. Now, this would also be good for a really, really pretty photo. So again, this would look good with a 5 by 7. So you could do that as well. And then what we could do then, if you still want to dress this up, is go ahead and grab a stripe. A stripe or a strip. This is 1/2 by 11. Again, measurements are listed below. And you know where you have that busy text? So what that does is it brings that multicolor of the surfboards and this multicolor of the text, and it just brings more cohesiveness to this, but then you can use them both together. So how many patterns do we have in here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 patterns. Isn't that fun? Now let me show the same example, but let's get more photos on here. So let's take away the 4x6 or the 5x7, and let's do some wallets. And let's just get some here. So we could put 2, how about 2 horizontal, and we could get a vertical on here. That would work good. And then also when it comes to these little strips, you know, that we're always adding as a little bit of a fill-in, you know, you can always use sometimes the branding strip even with the collection name. So instead of me throwing this away, right there is a representation of what the B-side was, and right there it said beach party. So I could take this, and that could definitely be a part of one of those strips, because now it says beach party. So isn't that fun? So before you throw those branding strips away, sometimes I don't keep them. See if you can use that branding strip, and maybe sometimes even the name of the collection, and see if it works with your layout. Isn't that fun? And that is the double block with the banner. So much fun. Now I will have photos at the end of the video. Take screenshots if you want to. So that's all I have for today. Come back to RTS because you never know what we're gonna do. Bye.